This is so overpowered, but I decided to make another video on the Rev Caves. I did make a video just like a couple days ago of 2 hours of loot from there. But this place is extremely overpowered. I found a better way to do it. I don't know if this is the best way, but it's working out really well for me. In that last video, I only got 1.8 mil profit per hour, I think, but I was using a blowpipe with dragon darts, and that's extremely expensive. So I switched over to the Elder Mall, and I've heard lots of people say that this is 5 mil an hour. So I wanted to do some more testing, because if it really is 5 mil per hour, that is pretty overpowered. Even raids, I think, is only over 5 mil an hour when you include the twisted bow. Most people who do raids don't ever actually end up getting a twisted bow, so really their GP per hour is a lot lower than when people talk about the average GP per hour for raids. There's a few different level revenants, and like the higher ones, like the dragon and the knight, they drop something every kill, and pretty much all the loot is pretty valuable. I think like the worst loot you can get is probably like, trying to think, what's the worst loot? It's probably one of the rune items, like a rune full helm or something like that, so that's like 20k. But a lot of the loot is over 100k, so I would say the average is probably close to like 70 to 100k area around there. And there isn't really any requirements for this. I mean, and there's pretty much no requirements for the revs. There are some lower level revs that still drop good stuff sometimes. If you are lower level, it will be hard to get kills because there's probably going to be lots of high levels that are going to snipe the kills from you. So I'm going to do 10 hours of it, see what loot I get and what supplies I use and all that stuff. So let's go. Hopefully I get lots of loot and get 5 mil an hour. I'm not sure that's actually going to happen, but we'll see. So this is the gear setup that I'm going to be using. Prosy helmet, Salve ME, mythical cape, D'hide, and yeah, so my protects are those three. If I get smited, I lose my Barrow's gloves, and if I have my protect item on, I lose this stuff. So 20k, we'll say, for every death I get, 20k loss. Elder Maul is super helpful because most of the time these things die extremely quick, so you just want to get one big hit in, and if your hit is the highest, then you'll get the drop. D-Claws, because I think they're the best spec weapon here. Crystal Holly is pretty good as well, but I think D-Claws might be better for two reasons. If you use a Crystal Holly, it is less accurate. D-Claws are quite a bit more accurate. And number two, with D-Claws, they're pretty quick, so you can usually use your Claw spec and then use a Elder Maul hit after the Claw spec. With a Crystal Holly, it depends on how many people are there, but usually if you use a Crystal Holly spec, you won't be able to put in a Maul hit as well. The Crystal Holly does hit higher though, and the process for how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to use my Royal Seed Pod to teleport away. You can use that from 30 Wilderness down, so it's the same as a Glory, and it's free if you've done Monkey Madness 2, and it's just one-click teleport, so you don't have to go into your item interface. Then I'm going to use my house tellies. After I get to this will take me to the tree. Let's just go there. So this will take me to this place. Then you can just go up this ladder, and there is a bank where you can bank. After I've banked, then I can just use a house teleport to my house, use my rejuvenation pool, which restores my spec energy, restores my health, restores my prayer, and my run energy. And then I can just use this teleport obelisk thing to teleport me. Am I risking anything? Okay, no, I don't really have anything with me, so it's fine. So I'm going to use it and show you guys where it teleports me to. Just instantly teleports me to this obelisk, which is just a little bit south of the Rev Caves, so just a few seconds to get over there, so it's pretty quick. So as far as banking, I can do that extremely quickly. Because I can bank so quickly, and because there's so many PKers and a decent shot of death, I usually bank after getting 200 to 300k loot. I know some people stay there with like mils of loot, and that's a pretty bad idea, I think. So just got an ancient crystal drop at the Revs. I have gotten one statue before. It was the 500k statue, so not that great. So this is my most valuable drop so far. I just bought 4 earlier for 2.5 mil each. I think they've dropped even more, so I think right now they're not that low. I think they're like 2.2, so pretty good. Oh my gosh, no way. I just got the ancient relic. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Oh, those guys showed up right when I got it. Oh, no way. Holy cow. Yeah, sweet. That's the best one. 16 mil right there. So I am 6 hours into this challenge, this 10-hour challenge, and finally got something. Actually, I got an ancient crystal before, so that's pretty. So here we go. This is the price check of the loot from 10 hours of Revenants. This is not including my rare drops. I did end up getting 2 rare drops, but just from the regular loot, we have 31.5 mil. Then we also got 2 rare drops, so we're going to go ahead and price check those 2 now. So an ancient crystal, that's actually worth 2.6 mil, and then this is worth 16 mil. So that means that is 18.6 mil right there. So in total, we got 50.1 mil loot. So for the supplies that I used, here it is right here. It shouldn't be too much. I swapped from the blowpipe because it was so expensive in my last 2-hour video of this. So there we have it, 10 hours of this using my current setup, and I only used 1.2 mil in supplies, which is almost the same as the amount of supplies I used in my 2-hour video. I think in that one I used 1.1 mil in 2 hours. This is 10 hours, only 1.2 mil. So I ended up dying 11 times, and if you remember from the beginning, I was risking 20k per setup. So let's go ahead and change that. I actually used 1.4 mil in supplies, which means I profited 48.7 mil. That's 10 hours, which means that's 4.87 mil per hour, or you could round that up to 5 mil an hour basically. If you were to take out my 2 rare drops, I would still come out with 30 mil profit, which would mean 3 mil profit per hour. Really crazy how much GP this has to be putting into the game, because every single world is like extremely packed, and these are just constantly dropping tons and tons of alkables. It's pretty much their entire drop table is almost completely just alkables, or things that you will turn into alkables. There's got to be so much cash coming into the game from this. I just don't see it being good for the game, so it's kind of worrying seeing this. I hope that they're going to nerf this. It's fun to do and stuff, but it's just, this is not good for the game. Jagex themselves, back when we were going to get Bounty Hunter, a lot of people were asking for statuettes like we had in the original Bounty Hunter way back in the day, and there were mods that were saying that that would be horrible for the economy, having statuettes that you can trade in for cash. And yet here they are now, doing that, and doing it in an area where no one asked for them to put pure cash drops in, yet they wouldn't do it when people actually wanted it. So they themselves have said that it is bad. The game may be in a different state now, so maybe it's not as bad as it would have been back then. Everything's already crap anyway, so just whatever. They may just be doing this to try and like force people to vote in PvP armors or some sort of armors for these Revenants. I think that'd be pretty cool to get some new items from these Revenants. But either way, even if people vote no for new items from these, I think it's a pretty bad choice to just put in all of these alkables. So I see this getting nerfed very soon, so if you want to make some pretty good money and you can't do Zora, you can't do raids, any of that stuff, you might have some luck here. There are a few like low-level Revenants, like to the side of the main area where everyone's killing them at, so even if you're a lower level, you can probably kill those if you focus on those while people aren't paying attention. I've seen like a few level like 30s just maging the little like level 20 Revenants, which actually still drop pretty good stuff. Or they have the same drop table, they just have a lower chance of actually dropping something. I think it's still pretty good compared to other stuff you can do when you're level 30. And when you're level 30, there's not going to be too many PKers that can actually kill you. There's only like a few people I've seen running around. A few low-level PKers like that are looking for low levels like that. The resource drops are insane, so if you're an Iron Man and you can get a few kills off one of the lower minions when you're a low level, it's pretty overpowered. Lots of rune drops, battle staff, so tons of alkables. It's probably pretty good cash per hour for low-level Ironmen. Pretty fun PKing here as well. Probably my next video might be a PKing video here. Just specking people out while pretending to kill Revenants or actually killing Revenants. And I've heard it's even better money PKing, so that should be pretty fun to do. That is pretty much it for this video, so see you guys in the next video.